Dad's TV remote shenanigans. Raji stood on the field, gripping the rope tightly. His entire class was cheering, and victory was just inches away. It was the final round of tug of war, and Raji's team was dominating. Just a little more, Raji shouted, pulling with all his strength. Mikey, on the opposing team, glared at him from across the rope. Not so fast, Raji. You're not winning this. Raji smirked. Watch me. The rope moved closer to Raji's side as Mikey's team struggled desperately. Victory was within reach until Raji's phone buzzed violently in his pocket. Raji groaned, letting go of the rope for a moment to check the message. It read, Raji. Come home. Now. Raji froze. Oh no. Mikey's team seized the opportunity, pulling the rope all the way to their side and winning the game. Mikey grinned. Ha! Loser! Raji groaned. I didn't lose, I was summoned. The summoning incident. Minutes later, Raji stormed into the house, still fuming from his tug-of-war defeat. He found his dad sitting on the couch, the TV remote within arm's reach. What happened? Raji demanded. Why did you summon me in the middle of tug-of-war? Dad pointed at the remote. Pass me that. Raji's jaw dropped. You summoned me. For the TV remote? Dad nodded. It's too far. Raji stared in absolute disbelief. It's literally right next to you. Dad shrugged. But I didn't feel like reaching for it. Mikey burst into laughter from the doorway. Oh, this is peak dad behavior. Raji groaned, grabbing the remote and handing it to his dad. You ruined everything. Dad smiled. Thanks, champ. The wrong time summoning trend. Unfortunately for Raji, this was just the beginning. Over the next week, Dad summoned him for everything, always at the worst possible times. During dinner, Raji. Come here. I need you. Raji ran downstairs, only to find Dad asking if he'd seen the charger for his phone. During homework, Raji. Drop everything and come. Raji sprinted into the living room, panicked only to hand Dad a bottle of water that was literally right in front of him. During sleep, Raji. Wake up. Immediately. Raji groggily stumbled downstairs at 2 a.m., only to be asked if Dad should wear a blue shirt or a red one the next day. Mikey laughed every single time. You're his personal assistant now. Raji glared at him. I'm plotting revenge. The final summoning disaster. The worst summoning happened during Raji's school presentation. He was about to explain his project to the class when Dad's voice rang through his phone, booming over the speakers. Raji! Come home now. Immediately. The entire class burst into laughter. Mikey, sitting in the audience, leaned back smugly. Oh, this is legendary. Raji groaned, stuffing his phone into his pocket. When he got home, Dad was waiting on the couch again. Pass me the remote, Dad said casually. Raji stared at him, emotionless. Dad. Buy a remote control extender. The bird in the school dream. Raji was walking through the school hallway in his dream, feeling oddly calm. The halls were empty, except for the faint sound of lockers rattling in the distance. As he turned the corner, he saw a bird, perched on top of a locker. It was small and colorful, with feathers that shimmered like rainbow light. Raji stopped, staring at it. Hey! Where'd you come from? The bird tilted its head, seemingly curious. Then it spread its wings, flying gracefully through the hallway, weaving between light fixtures and bouncing off walls. Raji watched, completely mesmerized. It's just me and you, bird, Raji muttered, smiling slightly. Suddenly his phone buzzed. Raji froze, panicked. No. Not now. Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Dad's voice roared through the dream, as loud as thunder. Raji groaned, covering his ears. Why is he summoning me in a dream? The bird, startled by the noise, suddenly dove straight toward Raji's face. And oh! Raji screamed, stumbling backward as the bird's feathers brushed against his nose. He woke up gasping, tangled in his bedsheets, his phone buzzing relentlessly. The real-world summons. Raji grabbed his phone, still disoriented. What? Do you need, Dad? Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Raji dragged himself out of bed, stomping into the living room. Dad was sitting on the couch with the TV remote right next to him again. Raji sighed. You summoned me. For the remote? Dad nodded. It's too far. Raji stared at him, speechless. Mikey walked in, laughing. This is so on brand for him. Raji groaned, handing Dad the remote. You haunted my dream over this. Dad shrugged. You're welcome. Raji was sitting on the couch, sipping a cold drink and enjoying the air conditioning when the familiar booming voice shook the house. Raji! Come downstairs. Now! Raji groaned, placing his drink on the table. What is it this time? Mikey leaned over, grinning. Wanna place bets? I'm guessing it's about the remote again. Probably, Raji muttered, dragging himself downstairs. He found Dad sitting in the kitchen, looking unusually serious. Raji, Dad began, his voice low and dramatic. It's time for you to prove your dedication. Raji blinked. What does that even mean? Dad stood up, crossing his arms. I want you to go outside and run 3 laps around the neighborhood. Raji raised an eyebrow. That's random, but okay. Dad held up a hand. Not just that. You're doing it in 100-degree weather. Raji froze. Wait, what? And, Dad continued, you'll be wearing 3 hoodies and 4 sweatpants. Silence. Mikey, who had crept downstairs to listen, burst into laughter. You're kidding, right? This is a prank, right? Dad shook his head. No prank. It's a challenge. Raji stared at him, horrified. This is insane. I'll melt. You'll survive, Dad said with a shrug. Mikey grinned. This is gonna be hilarious. The heat wave challenge. Minutes later, Raji stood outside in the sweltering heat, wrapped up like a human burrito in hoodies and sweatpants. Sweat dripped down his forehead before he had even started running. This is cruel and unusual punishment, he muttered. Mikey leaned against the doorframe, holding a popsicle. You look like a walking sauna. Raji glared at him. I hate you. Dad stood on the porch, arms crossed. Start running. Raji sighed, taking his first steps. The heat hit him like a brick wall, and every step felt like he was dragging himself through molten lava. Neighbors peeked out of their windows, whispering and staring. "Is that kid okay?" one of them asked. Mikey snorted. "Nope." The mid-lap struggle. By the second lap, Raji was barely standing. His hoodies clung to him like a sweaty prison, and his legs felt like jelly from the layers of sweatpants. "I'm gonna pass out," he wheezed. Mikey followed him with a portable fan, grinning. "You're almost there, champ." "I hate you." Dad, still standing on the porch, called out, "Stop whining. Real dedication requires sacrifice." Raji stumbled, waving weakly. "Dedication to what?" Dad shrugged. "Life." The final lap disaster. As Raji pushed himself through the final lap, the neighborhood kids started gathering to watch. "Why is he dressed like that?" one asked. "Is this a dare?" another added. Mikey smirked. "Nope. Just Dad's idea of a fun afternoon." Finally, Raji dragged himself back to the house, collapsing onto the grass. "I did it," he croaked. Dad nodded approvingly. "Good. Now do it again tomorrow." Raji's eyes shot open. "What?" Mikey doubled over laughing. "You're doomed, dude." Raji groaned. "I'm moving out."